Down here, the world was different. It was alive, even in the dead stones and the sediment. The air adjacent breathed in a cadence that demanded to be heard. The stream and the wind, a pair of lungs that rose and fell, then rose again on its own grant, independent of my thoughts. Here, where the edge of life met me without thought, I felt my breath. Down here I was different, like the air. I didn't have to justify the duality of myself, the change that occurred when no one else was watching. In that sense, time spent down at the river felt like a transition, a change out of masquerading and into silent peace. And transition felt constant these days, and there were a dozen different versions of me that threatened to surface. But here, the transition was pleasant. I tried to savor what I could, the feeling of being whole, away from my fracture, the feeling of being alive. But not everything felt alive. And certainly not all the time. I guess I just underestimated the silence that is everywhere. And it changed all the time. I didn't know what I wanted. But I knew when things felt good and when they felt bad. It felt bad here. The same quiet I felt down at the Huron took on an evil tone here. It was the oppressive quiet that follows when you get what you wish for and there's no spectators waiting. The kind of quiet that draws out the thoughts in your head that you would rather stay repressed. Days varied, but sometimes it felt like the entire earth would accumulate and weigh on this silence. And in these moments, the air became Atlas in the nothingness. I avoided it when I could. and Rian. Alone again. I remembered that sometimes it felt impossible to be beautiful. I held on to that feeling too, and the more that you earnestly tried, the more hideous it became. It felt difficult to not link the chaos and isolation with my efforts. Vain efforts. Ironically, I found respite from myself in my dreams. It felt like all I could see was TV static when the space between my mind and body evaporated. My sight failed me, but I preferred this unreality. Even when it was frightening. Blurred. It's the only way to describe it. Every part of my soul lacked focus, and at the point I could not see with clarity where I started and what others saw began. Whether my dreams were reality, whether I should even spend time in thinking of them. Were mirrors dreams? They weren't real either, in a sense. The person I saw in them never smiled back when I bared my teeth. In a voice soft like saccharin, I began to hear her, hear the cutting little things that infested the glass. I never asked for it. Or did I? I'm a liar. I don't know what I want. I don't know what's real. Who am I? Who am I? I'm trying every day to identify the person I see in the mirror, what they care about, what makes them unique from an automaton. But the murkiness and the pain are still there. The monster I see in the version of myself that visits me in my dreams. The me that is projected in a garish, fantastical version to an audience of zero. In the end, I still feel alive down here. And I don't know what the future looks like. But I know that whatever it will be, whatever I will become, exists somewhere in the looking glass. If only I am brave enough to look into it.